Okay, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. This is a sad episode. A life cut way too short, selfishly and mercilessly. Judith Barsi was a prolific child actress who was the voice of many of our childhoods. Yep. But she was failed by her family, Hollywood, and the world. That's today on Death in Entertainment.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details.
that has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death in Entertainment.
Greetings, Deado Universe.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Howdy.
Hi.
Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy.
The boys are back again.
Yes. Why? We're trying to ask ourselves that same question here.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Kyle Plouffe,
My name is Mark Mulcairn.
And I'm Alejandro Dowling.
and we are going through the tragic tale of Miss Judith Barsi.
Yes.
Prolific child actress.
Yeah.
Really? You don't get a lot of those prolific child actresses.
Really? What makes you say that?
Sometimes they're just all right. You know, they're not prolific. They're just
Right.
child actresses.
They don't
It's
get
up
a
to
lot
Mark.
of work.
Yeah. Who's the girl from The Pianist? She's prolific. She won an
piano.
Oscar. The
The
piano, yes.
That's Anna Paquin. She won an Oscar.
Yeah.
At like 10 years old. See,
Yeah.
that's prolific.
Yeah. I mean, she had to see Harvey Keitel's dick. But,
Oh,
Well, we all had
hey.
to also.
yeah.
Well, he got his own Broadway show, remember?
Yeah. Keitel's dick. That was off Broadway.
Off Broadway. Yeah, way off Broadway.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, as you can tell, we do have a little fun on this podcast, but the subject matter is serious,
Yeah.
so we only make the jokes when appropriate.
And this is our disclaimer, just to let you guys know that there will be some shocking things that are mentioned. We will make light of certain things, but we're not really out to be cruel people, but it's just the nature of how we do our podcast.
Yeah. So with that,
With that,
let's get in the car and go to July 25th, 1988.
rev it up.
All right, Kyle, can you help us out with the music that was popular the weekend of July 25th, 1988?
Number 3 on the Billboard music charts, Breathe with Hands to Heaven.
With Hands to Heaven.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That featuring?
Well, Breathe does Hands to Heaven. Breathe.
Oh.
It's their song.
The song is Hands to Heaven.
Yeah, I don't know this song at all, I don't think.
Yeah, this for being number 3, it sounds pretty obscure.
Yeah.
I can't even think of how this would go.
It was still like kind of 80s new wave stuff going on there. So I think, some of the music was weird around this time.
Hands to heaven, and my fingers are in heaven, and my knuckles are in heaven.
That's Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
More like Hands to Nowhere.
Hands to nothing. Number 2 is Richard Marx, Hold On to the Nights.
Hold on to the nights.
Is that how it really went?
Yeah.
Are you just making that up?
Richard Marx, this was a banger.
Really?
All I think is Marx Brothers, like, her.
Yeah, what do you say, Richard? Yeah, he was the unknown Marx brother. Yeah, he was big in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Big. Yeah, he's big on Twitter these days. He's a big mainstay on Twitter.
Richard
What?
Marx?
Yeah, Richard Marx. He's well known on Twitter. He's a big personality on there.
Wow.
He makes jokes or something?
Yeah. He makes to his own expense sometimes. He's messing around with Richard Marx.
Huh.
Check it out, guys.
Check it out.
Yeah,
All right.
Big vouch right there from Mark.
big vouch.
Number 1, Steve Winwood, Roll With It. Still have no idea.
I remember Winwood. But
Yeah.
I don't remember Roll.
He came up in one of our podcasts, but I can't remember what song.
Yeah.
Bring me a higher love.
Oh, if he does that song, I like that song.
Yeah, he does do that song.
That's pretty good.
That's his biggest hit.
Send me a higher love. Your love.
Da-da-da-da-da.
On to movies. Top 3 movies at this time. July 25th, 1988. Number 3. You love it. Die Hard.
Wow.
The movies were on point at this time. The music, so-so. Die Hard, you really can't go wrong with that movie. I love it so much.
Yeah.
One of the best action movies ever.
Yeah.
It was
And-
actually titled after my grandfather, who had a heart attack while on Viagra.
It's
Hello.
this opening is gonna have 1,000 bits going on.
And also, Die Hard is one of the best Christmas movies.
Yeah, that's up for debate every year. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? Also,
It is.
this movie, the script was written like way back in the 60s, and Frank Sinatra was supposed to be the lead of this.
What?
Yes, when
I didn't know that.
it was going to be a movie in the 60s, and Frank Sinatra was supposed to be the lead.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Ring-a-ding, kaye, motherfucker. That would not have been a good movie, I feel like.
No.
Number 2, Coming to America. Which
Whoa.
we've talked about John Landis on this. He was a very problematic character on that set because him and Eddie Murphy got into a big fight. I think John Landis quit or got fired and then just hung back. He did the George Costanza where he waited until Monday and then just started working again after he quit.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was very concerned who Eddie Murphy was sleeping with.
Yes, which was the girl in it, who was the daughter of the guy who owned McDowell's, who Eddie Murphy was dating in it. And for some reason, like, why the fuck did he care? John Landis says, "Don't fuck her," to Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy's like, "Fuck you, man!" And it was like a whole like blow up.
Yeah.
And then
motherfucker.
John Landis says, "I quit," and then he came back to work.
Keep the actress from McDowell's out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. Number 1 movie at this time: Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Ooh.
Great movie.
It was Christopher
Yes.
Lloyd, by the way,
For what?
who framed him.
Oh,
Okay.
He's the bad guy in the movie.
is he? Okay, I don't remember.
What do
Right?
you mean, is he? Yes?
I don't remember it that well. What is that part of our homework here to watch fucking
Well-
that every week just in case it comes up?
To not remember that Christopher Lloyd is the main villain. Remember he has those crazy cartoon eyes?
Yeah.
And then he gets run over by the bulldozer or whatever?
Yeah, flattened.
Yeah.
I just remember Bob Hoskins. I'm a Hoskin head, so I just remember him in that.
That's crazy that you know Bob Hoskins. Christopher Lloyd.
Well,
What?
Bob Hoskins was like the fucking lead in it. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
Then Mark goes, wasn't there a rabbit?
Yeah.
Something
yeah,
in
there
it?
we go. Yeah. And
Wasn't there a big-titted cartoon?
Oh yeah, Jessica Rabbit. She had some nice honkers. On.
Honka, honka, honka.
By the way, I'd like to debut my Roger Rabbit impression.
Let's hear it.
Gee, Eddie.
Oh my god. Is there a button we can hit? No, that's the wrong button. That's the very wrong button.
When I was a kid watching that movie, I always thought Bob Hoskins was Phil Collins.
Yeah, they have
Always thought
similar looks and,
They do.
and accents. Yeah. Also, July 25th is Matt LeBlanc's birthday, born in 1967. Who knew?
How you doing?
How you doing? It's my birthday, you fucks. He's from Newton, Massachusetts. Actually, I had a friend who was related to him.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Could he be any more born?
Yo.
well, that's not his catchphrase. So I don't really know what.
Oh, yeah, his was, hey.
No, it's how you doing. It's how you doing.
That was Fonzie.
Well, he was a ripoff of Fonzie.
Yeah.
But I think who was it? Lisa Kudrow said on the set of Friends when she was there, when she was getting ready for the show, for the taping, she wouldn't wear makeup, and then once she put on makeup, one of the producers says, "Oh, you finally look fuckable." And she said she told Matt LeBlanc, who was like the big brother of all the women there, and he like fucking put in some words with this producer guy. So he was actually a
Wow.
good guy, I guess.
Ah.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, he was always like the badass on the show. Like he's the one they brought when they got into fights and stuff. Remember Ross and them were getting into a fight?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't watch the show.
Never.
You're too busy watching Roger Rabbit. Fuck you. I watch Friends. I watch must-see TV, you pieces of shit.
I like how every 90s executive asks, is she fuckable?
Yeah, that came up in the Brittany Murphy thing.
Yeah.
The swinging 90s where they
I
they
guess.
let it fly, I guess.
Boy.
Yeah, to be an executive then,
No thanks.
you had to be a scumbag.
Yeah.
And speaking of scumbags,
Yes.
you're about to hear about the ultimate scumbag
Okay.
as we go into the story of Judith Barsi. We are going to get started in Hungary.
And boy, am I hungry.
I could go for something. How about a country?
Jozsef Barsi and Maria Benko were both Hungarian immigrants who fled to the U.S. during the Soviet occupation in 1956. But they didn't meet each other until years later in Los Angeles.
Wow.
He was working as a plumber and would frequent the bar she worked at. And how would he pay for his drinks, you ask? With $100 bills.
Really?
Yeah,
Where was he getting this money?
plumbing. The plumbing biz.
I guess business must have been booming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
he had that plumber's crack all over. That's where he's keeping the hundreds.
Swinging pipes and business is good.
Yeah,
And then laying pipe
That's
I
right.
guess so.
after the bar.
Mm-hmm.
He had some kind of mysterious allure, speaking with his thick accent and, of course, showing off his wealth. Apparently, Maria, the barmaid, was charmed. I'm not sure why. Can we see a picture of him quick?
Yeah.
Does he look like a fucking monster?
A fucking
Jeez.
absolute fucking sleaze.
She said that he was tall, dark, and handsome.
None of that is
Yeah.
true.
You see that guy?
He looks like a plumber.
He was short, pale, and fucked up looking.
Yeah, that jacket. He looks like he's wearing Elvis's jacket or something.
Yeah. He looks like a melting candle.
Yeah.
He looks like if Ben Gazzara played him in a movie, they'd have to put ugly makeup on him.
Yeah. And put on like 20 pounds like Gazzara. Face fat.
Yeah, I don't know how he had such a beautiful daughter, but he is fucked up looking.
Yeah, he looks like a monster.
Yeah.
I think that it must have been that they have that shared experience of fleeing Hungary.
Yeah.
Well, that makes the most sense. You know, they know the same people. Like, hey, you remember, Johnny from Hungary?
Yeah.
I remember that guy. You know, they have a history.
He certainly looks hungry.
Yeah.
No, he looks full.
Yeah, I think he looks full. I don't think he's ever seen hunger in his life. He's seen hungry, but not hunger.
Yeah.
He's never missed a meal, this guy.
Hungary, by the way, that's the new country that we've been charting on. So
Oh.
hopefully people aren't big Joseph Barsi heads out there.
None of the Barsi family hopefully not listening to this. We love him.
Yeah.
So Maria and Joseph dated briefly and then became husband and wife. The second marriage for both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
Will you marry me?
Now I'm fucking Joseph Barsi.
Will you be my wife?
At first, theirs was a happy courtship. He would spoil her with gifts and tell her that they were destined to be together. However, their fairy tale would not last, as the monster beneath the surface would soon rear its ugly head.
What is that? Wait, what happened?
It was his ugly head coming out.
Literally his ugly head.
Yeah, he was coming out of a bath.
Hey, how's it going?
He would
Holy shit, you're rearing your ugly head
Can I get a drink? Let me get a rum and Coke. Yeah, he's asking for drinks there, too.
in his own bathroom.
he was waking up from a vodka-infused slumber.
I almost drowned myself. That ever happened to you? Let me get a rum and Coke. We'll talk about it.
It's actually likely that the monster was better looking than him.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we just stick with the monster?
Yeah.
That other guy was fugly.
You're scaring our kids.
Seeing that come out of the water, it's like the fucking Loch Ness.
He steps outside, the birds come out of the fucking trees.
Joseph, more like Nosef.
Joseph, please.
The cops knock on the door. We got a report of an ugly guy in there.
You got a report of a monster rearing his ugly head?
Very ugly father. Wait, that's something you can call the cops on?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, these days, sure.
Officer, he's eating again.
Yeah. Sir, you have a little too much to eat tonight?
Good, he's distracted. Leave.
They shine the flashlight in his face.
In his mouth.
We know it says all you can eat, but come on.
The first time, this is a written warning we're going to give you for being an ugly father.
Your intestine is about to explode.
Yeah.
So Joseph had a rough childhood, and would fly into a fit of rage when asked about it.
Wow.
So if you said, hey, how was your childhood? He'd go, fuck you.
What the fuck?
Flip a table.
Yeah.
He often said he came from no one. So hated his parents and family.
So like an orphanage, or just like he felt like he was never cared for?
Little is known about him.
That's what they used to say for the Ultimate Warrior when they announced him to this to the wrestling ring. They would say, from parts unknown.
Yeah.
And that's what this guy sounds like he wants to be from.
He was on the Anthony Bourdain show.
Yes. Nice.
Nice.
That's him. Yeah. Oh, I keep getting the applause today.
I know. We're hitting the wrong button. We got to reprogram.
Jozsef's rage was off the charts, and he would often get into physical fights with anyone who got on his nerves, including women and children.
What the fuck?
There's at least one instance where witnesses say he attacked a child for asking him to repeat a question. Excuse me, what did you say?
What is he asking a kid anyway?
Directions or like financial like questions?
Hey, kid, you think I look like a monster?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that, sir?
Do I look fat in this very tight sweater?
Does my wife love me?
Hey, kid, can you run and get me a lotto ticket?
Yeah.
What was that?
What's that, mister?
That reminds me of Mr. Show character. He was like Freddy 2 times, but he was Freddy 1 time. He only said things once. And you say, "Boy, this suit stinks." And he goes, "What did you just say?" And he just stared at it. He wouldn't say it again.
Yeah.
You can say that again.
Cold silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Pally's.
Your Pallies, yes. Mr. Show. I love it.
One of the best shows ever.
You know who the dad reminds me of here? Peter Weller. Remember when he beat the shit out of Corey Haim?
Yes.
When Corey Haim said, "I love your acting," he's like, "What you just?
I'll fucking show you.
What you say to me?"
How did Peter Weller not end up in jail after that?
Yeah. There's like 3 crew guys had to peel him off of Corey Haim.
Yeah, he ended up on RoboCop after that.
Yeah, he was like 12 years old.
Like, oh, you like to beat up innocent people? How about you be a fucking cop in Dystopia?
We think you'd be perfect for this Paul Verhoeven movie.
That other movie was Firstborn,
Yeah.
where he beat up Corey Haim.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So Jozsef was not the least bit ashamed of his uncontrollable anger. In fact, he would brag about his many drunken fights, as if they were entertaining campfire tales.
Sounds like Frank Rizzo from Jerky Boys.
Yeah.
My neck will flare up like a fucking pack of hemorrhoids.
Like, yeah, I saw these 4-year-olds on the west side the other day. Did I give them a beating? Like, wait, what?
He claimed he killed a man during one such brawl,
What?
even serving prison time for it.
Wow.
But there's no proof that this ever happened.
Oh, okay. So he's like one of those crazy braggarts where he's the tough guy in every story.
Yeah. And remember Michael Gargiulo, the Hollywood Ripper?
Yeah.
He told bouncers at the bar he worked at that he'd killed people, and they flat out didn't believe him.
Yeah.
So in some cases, it is true,
Yeah.
and in other cases, it's not. Very weird psychology.
Yeah. If someone tells me that they killed a woman and it's just like this fucking weird guy, I'd probably believe that over some fucking fat loser being like, "Oh, I killed this guy." It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, you didn't.
He
That's
talked back to me. And like
Yeah.
in that scenario, you're trying to, tell people that you're tough and they shouldn't fuck with you.
Yeah.
It's like when people just say like, "Yeah, don't, I really gave it to this guy fucking CVS the other day." Like, no, you didn't say shit, man. You coward like a coward, like
Yep.
you are.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. There is a difference.
Big time.
What is unquestionably true, though, is that he was a mean man and a meaner drunk with 3 DUI arrests on his record.
If you got DUIs in the 70s, like you were really drunk. Like
Right.
if you get like they weren't really looking for you. You had to be like going the wrong way on the 101.
Right?
Yeah.
The one good thing that Jozsef contributed to this world came into existence on June 6, 1978. That's the day Judith Barsi was born. Maria knew her daughter was special and was determined to make her a star one day. So right out of the womb, she's already, prepping her.
Throwing
Yeah.
her at Gerber's hands.
Yeah, for show
Hey, guy.
business.
Take my baby, please.
She was a strict parent slash momager, always coaching Judith to behave properly and to be the model child. Judith was very smart and spoke fluent Hungarian, but was taught to speak English without an accent.
Wow.
So she has two things going on. She's learning the mother language.
Yeah.
And then she's told, but when you speak English, make sure you sound American.
Wow.
We don't want any hint of foreign on you.
It was very polished American back in those days in Hollywood.
Maria would take Judith to Hollywood hotspots and encourage her to be loud so that industry people would notice her.
That's smart. A lot of those stories happen like that. Hey, who's your kid over there? Who's that loud kid? I want her in my next movie, the loud kid.
Right. Who's that kid singing Tomorrow from Annie while doing backflips on the roller rink?
Yeah.
We got to get her in for an audition.
Yeah.
Before long, Judith was ready for her close-up. Maria took her to a bunch of auditions. And not only was she a cute kid with blonde hair and blue eyes, but she could cry on command and remember her lines. That's huge.
Yeah.
If you can remember your lines, you will have a good career in Hollywood as a character actor
Yeah.
once you're in the door.
That's very important. I think that's what Danny McBride, I think I heard him talking about that. Like, as long as he memorizes lines, like, that's really all they care about.
Mm-hmm.
They just and do the bare minimum as far as the acting goes, but the remembering the lines is so important.
Success came quickly, and Judith appeared in multiple big commercials that went national.
Oh, shit. That's the big money, especially these days.
Yeah, let's watch one of them.
Frito-Lay has a new flavored Lay's brand potato chip. It's called
Jalapeno and cheddar.
Okay, I got it now. New Lay's
Jalapeno and cheddar.
No other chip can say it. No one can eat just one.
Man.
Why couldn't that guy say jalapeno?
He was a bad actor.
Yeah, he didn't know his lines.
She outshone him in that clip.
Yeah.
Holla, holla, holla.
Read the script, fucker.
Holla, holla, holla.
Holla, holla. Let me holla at you.
Let me holla at you, bitch.
And then that is such a Hollywood line she's forced to say at the end. Men, get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here. That 5-year-old.
Oh, my God. Alejandro really hates this line. Jeez.
As Judith's professional life excelled, her home life became chaotic and dysfunctional.
But she's like the sole breadwinner now, kind of. Well, her dad's a plumber, and they, you can make some money there.
A lot of people clog their toilets.
That's true. Especially the dad.
Nice.
Her parents' marriage started to crumble. They would berate each other, and Jozsef would physically assault Maria when, in his eyes, she got out of line.
So this is like an old world kind of like, dynamic where he's like, he should be the boss and
Yeah, very simple.
pushing her around. Yeah.
He's the rooster of the hen
Sure.
house.
Yeah.
Their relationship was so contentious, they wouldn't even bother to hide it in front of others. Friends saw him lunge at her and grab her neck at a party.
My God.
He threatened to kill her multiple times, and like his drunken fight stories, he was more than happy to admit this to people around him. So he's proud of being a dirtbag.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the Hungarian mindset. I don't want to paint any pictures, but I think it's of the time. It's just kind of like a backwards way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like women belong in their place, yada yada yada, belong in the bedroom or the kitchen. I mean,
And the bedroom.
and the bedroom.
Maria and the society at large were not his only targets, however. He soon focused on little Judith, too. A neighbor recalled a time where he approached his daughter, who was playing in the front yard, grabbed her kite, and then ripped it up because, as he explained, she was being a spoiled brat.
It seems like he was just in a bad mood. He wanted to take it out on his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, real tough.
Yeah, real tough guy. He rips up
What a guy.
kids' kites and stuff and
Yeah.
Coloring books. Wow, tough guy.
Yeah, don't fuck with that guy.
Yeah, he'll destroy any kid
Yeah.
under 10 years old.
Judith's big TV break came in 1984 with Fatal Vision, a miniseries where she played Kimberly McDonald, a girl who was murdered by her father along with her pregnant mother.
Hilarious storyline.
Little foreshadowing here too, unfortunately.
I feel like you're telling us something already.
And we have a clip from this show. So this is a flashback in the miniseries when she was alive.
How about the zoo?
Can we?
Right away. Now you just go get your sweater. Hurry up.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah.
It's got a cute voice.
Kind of ominous in that clip.
Yeah.
Really? Well, again, I know.
Because there's like an echo. Someone's.
Oh, like they're
kitchen.
literally trying to tell you something
Yeah.
bad's going to happen to that kid.
Well, she's already dead in the miniseries, so that was a flashback to when she was alive, and then it's about how did that happen and did the dad kill them?
Jeez.
So it's kind of like Twin Peaks, maybe.
Very dark, yes. The cast and crew noted how polite, thanks to Maria's coaching, and professional Judith was. After the success of the miniseries, she got an agent named Ruth Hansen, who kept her as one of the busiest child actors of the 80s. In 1 year, she earned $100,000 and thus became, as Mark pointed out, the family's main breadwinner.
$100,000 at this time, like a kid, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
If my kid made $100,000 right now, like I'd probably keep it.
Yeah, you can live home a little longer there, kid.
All right, someone bought a little more time for themselves.
Yeah, you just got yourself to second grade, kid.
Congratulations, but don't get used to it.
You want to go?
Because I'm crazy.
You want to go to college? What are you, nuts?
You get a lot of more commercials to work on now.
Yeah.
While Maria was delighted that her vision was coming to fruition for her daughter, Jozsef was jealous.
Of course.
His income was far lower, and he was embarrassed to be outshined by his daughter.
What a fucking loser.
Yeah, what a bum. Just sit back and just, accept what's going on here, Joseph.
I would love to have a kid that's a breadwinner.
Yeah.
Then I could just do this podcast all day.
Hell yeah.
Resentment turned to rage, and he would take it out on Judith. Among other things, he would hit, punch, slap, and throw pots and pans at her, resulting in scratches, bruises, and nosebleeds. Judith,
God.
I know, it's horrible. Judith confided in her agent, Ruth, about the abuse and told other actors on set that her dad was scary and unhappy. Quote, "I'm afraid to go home. My daddy is drunk every day and wants to kill my mother."
Man, what do you do there, though? Like if you're like a set PA or something, you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's a little heavy, kid.
Like,
You running lines?
yeah,
Now you see that tape on the floor? That's your mark.
Yeah.
See you later.
Talking to the camera. But
Bill
don't look-
Cosby's like, kids say the darndest things.
The kid is crazy.
And the pudding. And
Yeah.
Wow.
People did react that way. They weren't really sure what to do because Jozsef was never on set. They never saw this guy.
So he wasn't like a Kid Culkin where he's constantly there and just making everyone's time miserable. But he's just like, he's the one at home, just like once the girl gets dropped off there, it's like that's when the nightmare begins.
Coworkers and friends tried to convince Maria to leave him. One person even offered them a room in their house to escape Jozsef, but Maria declined, stating that such an action would make the situation worse. And by the way, mind your own business.
Why don't they just get a room at the Chateau Marmont or like a hotel or...
That didn't work out so good for John Belushi.
No, but or like an apartment somewhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Go to La Quinta.
Go to La Quinta, yeah.
They have a continental breakfast.
Sure.
Cozy.
Yeah, they got free ice.
Free HBO.
Yeah, there you go, La Quinta.
Remember in the 80s and 90s, they would advertise free HBO like, whoa,
Yeah.
if you stay here, you can watch HBO.
Yeah. You can watch John from Cincinnati.
People's dads on the highway just be like, holy shit!
It's like a firing auto reg.
HBO!
We gotta stop this La Quinta. Like that's the coroner's like seeing the body. La Quinta!
In December 1986, things finally came to a head when Maria called the cops to their home in West Hills and told them everything.
West Hills, wow, they were way up there. West Hills is far.
Yeah, it's west.
It's west and it's hills.
It's out west.
It's out
as
west.
they say.
Go west, son.
At the end of the earth.
Yeah.
Where the sun sets.
So what did the police say?
Nothing. She told them that Jozsef was abusive to both of them.
Yeah.
And that he made death threats. And that he strangled her earlier in the evening.
My God.
The cops said there was nothing they could do because they failed to find physical signs of abuse and they couldn't find any evidence to make an actual arrest.
Cops were shit around this time. Not to say they've gotten much better, but they're really garbage.
Kyle, any thoughts on that?
Nothing to add. Mark just nailed it.
Yeah.
Maria was disappointed and felt helpless. In her opinion, the police were disinterested in helping her and Judith. But even though their visit that night didn't result in an arrest, Jozsef seemingly turned over a new leaf. He said the incident was a wake-up call and used it as an opportunity to quit drinking. So that's nice, right?
What a guy.
But did he?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, as long as he did.
Well, not exactly.
He cut back.
This new leaf would only be temporary. This new leaf would soon fall.
He's really hitting it hard on the leaf talk here, Kyle.
This new leaf would turn red and then shrivel up and die before the winters chill. Jozsef put on a facade publicly, apologizing for his behavior to friends and family, telling them he wanted to be a better man. He painted a picture of home life where dinner was rarely cooked for him, and he would often return from a day's work to a dirty house. Also, that Maria was stubborn and impossible to deal with.
I mean, I would never believe anything this guy says. He's the one that says, yeah, some guy told me off and I murdered him. Like, okay. I would never believe anything that person ever said again.
Some people did believe him. And
Well, it was hard to, like, confirm things back in the day then. Like, say if someone, like, you know, says these crazy things, they're the toughest guy in the world, they murdered this guy, you know, in Hollywood the other day, but there's no way of, like, okay, I believe you. If you're, like, if me and some other guy is at a bar and he's saying shit like this, I feel like I can smell a rat, but some people cannot.
yeah. And with the old-fashioned lens on, people are like, oh, so she's not taking care of you.
Yeah. And women should be taking care of the men.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the, even though she's the one that put together this entire money-making scenario with the daughter, in which they're living very comfortably because of the wife's idea.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I hate this guy.
Let's kill him.
He's on the shit list, I think.
Oh, big
the
time
shit list
shit
is
list.
getting bigger and
He
bigger.
is the shit list.
Yeah, he is it.
Yeah, so some people were buying his bullshit and convinced that Maria was not giving their marriage a proper try. In reality, Jozsef continued to abuse Judith and Maria verbally and spit out the usual death threats. So the violence stopped, but he kept berating them and ridiculing them.
I mean, I wonder if this guy is like Tony Soprano, like, I'm going to freaking kill yous, you know, like, or if he's like really like, he's really mean to, like, viscerally angry. He has plans to kill these people.
Oh, he means it.
Really?
People weren't sure.
It seems like he's very serious about killing innocent women and children, but when it comes to, like, real dangerous people, he's hands off.
I'm sure some people thought they were just hyperbolic statements.
Yeah, like that. That's what I mean, like a hyperbolic statement or something like that.
His resentment of Judith's career worsened. The stress of her dad weighed heavily on her. She continued to break down in between filming her scenes for various commercials and TV shows. Her coping mechanisms involved plucking her eyelashes.
Oh, no.
As well as pulling out her cat's whiskers.
Oh, my God.
What did the cat do?
Yeah, leave the cat alone.
And she would binge eat, causing her weight to fluctuate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
very sad.
Yeah, that is crazy for a little kid like this. It's just not cool.
No. Another problem was her height. She was not growing as fast as other kids her age.
Yeah.
Around 9 years old, she was only 3 feet 8 inches.
Wait, at 9 years old, she's 3 feet? That is short. I don't know what is the proper height for someone that age.
Maybe like 6 feet.
Yeah.
I'm not good with
7,
numbers.
8, who knows? Yeah. But it's short anyway.
Yeah. To help literally boost her appearance, she started receiving costly hormone injections on a weekly basis at UCLA.
What?
On top of it, her hectic schedule caused her to miss school a lot, and she was thus not able to make many close friends as a result.
Yeah.
This is what happens with a lot of these child stars. They don't really get to have a childhood.
Yeah, they seem so cool to anyone that's not in the business, but they're getting
No, but the
put through the
school,
ringer.
the schools I go to, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes the kids are equally, they're like the dad Jozsef here, where they're jealous of someone who's doing crazy big things. Like Mila Kunis said similar things. Like she didn't have a lot of friends in school because she was this child actress and she was Ukrainian. So she was coming from like kind of a similar point of view. Hungary and, in Ukraine, I know are two different places, but I think it shows you that it's based on the family because her dad was very cool and her mom was very cool.
Right.
So it's really family based. It's not like some, cultural thing, really.
Yeah. And then think of someone like the kid that played Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
The movie was universally panned.
Hated.
And then he goes to school. Hey, guys, what's up? He's going to get stuffed into a locker.
Yeah.
On a massive level, he's suddenly bullied for not only being a child actor who they're jealous of, but the star of a movie that they hated.
That bombed.
Right.
And all these kind of nerd parents are like, kill that kid because he ruined our Star Wars.
Yeah, they support it.
Yeah.
They high-five the bullies.
Yeah, they probably give him brass knuckles to go into school with.
Somebody kill that kid!
Yeah, get that Anakin, motherfucker.
The principal is like, who let him out of the locker?
Yeah.
Bring that do-gooder to my office right now.
Everyone's on board with this. But
George Lucas
Yeah, George
visits.
Lucas,
He's like,
yeah.
all right, where is he?
Even though he wrote it, like, what the fuck?
He puts a padlock on the locker.
But Anakin's basically Darth Vader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Eventually.
Yeah. So he has it coming because he's gonna be a monster anyway at some point.
But at least Lucas learned from all the bad reception and hired a good actor to play the rest of Anakin in adulthood.
Wait, who's that?
Hayden Christensen.
Oh, he sucks. That guy's trash.
He learned nothing.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he just didn't give a fuck.
I don't think that's why he sold it to Disney.
Yeah, that's it. And he got billions of dollars, and good for him.
And then also thinking of child actors in general, I really wonder, even on the best production where they're treated like angels and well protected, I still don't know if it's good for the kids' mental health. Because I think back to Brad Renfro being in The Client, perfect casting, but then Joel Schumacher made the comment, I hope he gets out of this thing okay.
Really?
This whole experience.
Yeah.
Because it's such a whirlwind.
What, Brad Renfro?
Yeah, but I think he was referring to just being thrown on that world stage and all the pressure of being a successful young actor.
Well, but I think he knew he had a interesting background. That's why he was chosen, actually. When you have those rougher backgrounds, that's why you're like chosen for these roles.
Yeah.
And, it's a 50-50 split. No one knows what the hell's going to happen in those scenarios. And, with this, I still don't know what happened to this girl.
Yeah,
but
well,
her family life is rough, but she could still make it out of there. I'm in real time rooting for her in this story that you're telling us, but I don't know how it's going to end.
all right, well, I guess we can keep chugging along.
Yeah.
So I mentioned she was a very busy child actress.
Yeah.
Busy.
Listen to some of these credits. So she did Knots Landing, Kids Don't Tell. She appeared in the Twilight Zone revival series.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a great series, by the way.
Not the movies
No.
that we talked about. Okay.
In 1985, there
Gotcha.
was a revival, and it's very good.
Okay.
In fact, one of the writers went on to create Game of Thrones.
Oh.
With David Benioff?
No, what's his name?
Oh, David, the
George
other
R.R.
David.
Martin?
Yes, him.
Wait,
He
really?
Wrote, yeah, he wrote on the Twilight Zone.
Wow.
I thought he like grew up in a cave and then just came out with the scrolls of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I wrote this stuff.
All the lore with these writers. Same with Charlie Kaufman. Before being John Malkovich, he wrote on the sitcom Ned and Stacy
And Get a Life.
and Get a Life.
Yeah. He said an entire season to Get a Life. Charlie Kaufman said he said nothing in the writer's room. He just literally said nothing.
And finally he was like, Get a Life.
Yeah. Then he finally, I don't know, did something. But great show. Very
Yep.
inspiring, but it only went a couple seasons. Anyway.
And then back to the filmography of one Judith Barsi.
Yes.
Remington Steele, Punky Brewster,
Love it.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Funky Brewster.
Yeah. Cagney and Lacey. The New Gidget, not to be confused with
The old Gidget.
Gidget.
Yeah.
Eye of the Tiger. What the hell is that? Is that like a Rocky spin-off?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, a TV show based on Rocky.
The Love Boat. If you were working in the 80s and you were anybody, you appeared on The Love Boat.
Yes, because it was a reoccurring cast. We just mentioned, who else was on it? The blonde that recently died. Can't think of Three's Company.
Oh,
Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Summers was on that. Yes. Anyway, keep going.
you know, those are the highlights.
Yeah.
But then we get to her first big movie.
What?
The summer would-be blockbuster, Jaws.
What?
The
She's in
Revenge.
2.
Oh,
No,
dude.
it's the fourth one.
Oh, fuck.
Because there was Jaws 2,
Right.
and then there was Jaws 3D at SeaWorld, and then Jaws the Revenge. This one is ridiculous. Because Lorraine Gray reprises her role from the first movie. She's Sheriff Brody's wife.
Oh, okay.
And she was married to the head of the studio. So he gave her this picture to star in. It's just her this time.
Yeah.
The character of Brody is long dead. And so she's just continuing the family legacy. But wouldn't you know it? There's a shark that's after her because Roy Scheider killed his uncle in the first one or something. So they actually attribute human characteristics to the shark in this movie.
It has actual revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It is awful.
Because that developed over time because the original Jaws was a little more intelligent than your usual shark. So maybe it's just the metamorphosis of this whatever breed of shark, which now it like
Hey, I'm not your average shark over here.
yeah you kill it's like getting tattoos of revenge against people. It's like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear, just getting tattoos on his knuckles.
And I said Lorraine Gray. It's Lorraine Gary. And she was married to Sidney Sheinberg.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's how she got this movie.
Go
And
get your Scheinberg.
it was a big
But I told
flop.
you, I don't do Scheinbergs
I don't do
anymore.
Scheinberg no more.
Michael Caine won an Oscar, and he couldn't accept it because he was filming this movie.
What? What a bad decision. Why did he do it like Alfie 2 or something?
And in one scene, he is thrown off the boat into the water.
Whoa!
And then they pull him out, and one shot later, he's completely dry. So not the best production here, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure it paid well.
And we have a little clip. It says introducing Judith Barsi.
What makes the plane go up and down?
Oh, that's easy. You go like this, and the houses get bigger.
Then it crashes.
Master Bruce.
Go like this, and then the houses get smaller.
Jesus Christ, this is not even fun.
Want to go for a ride?
Is that Dennis Miller in the back?
No.
Hey, babe, how about this flight, babe?
We're going down, babe.
Hey, Chachi, want you a little more turbulence next time, Chief?
Feels like I'm in a Jaws movie directed by David Cronenberg.
Babe. Yeah,
It's like Barishnikov.
In the Bahamas.
Michael Caine missed accepting an Oscar to film that movie.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that?
He won for Hannah and Her Sisters.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Who directed that? I forget.
I think Joe did.
You're not allowed to say my name anymore.
They shot this movie in the Bahamas. There was an incident while Judith Barsi was packing to go. Her dad put a knife to her throat, threatening to kill her and her mother if they didn't return to him from the shoot. And then when they traveled to visit family afterwards, Jozsef called Judith and reminded her of his threat. So they quickly returned home. And one actress was so disgusted by Judith's treatment, she quit the business.
Wow.
Because she thought, how could an industry allow this to happen to a little girl?
And the industry's like, get in line, pal.
I know. Yeah, this is one of many. This is years after your buddy there, the first Disney, star who
my buddy.
who got chewed up and spat out. So like this
Bobby
been a
Driscoll?
long history. Yeah, Bobby Driscoll was like 30 years before. So
Disney, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Died in a coffer's grave.
in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Well, that part's not so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
great city.
New York!
Yeah, this is pre 9/11.
Concrete jungle where we will bury you in an unmarked grave. Now you're in New York.
And that actress that quit the business, possibly Fritzy Jane Courtney.
Possibly.
But I'm not saying anything, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was on the Fritz.
Oh, God. She's on the Fritzy.
Interesting.
Okay.
Better one.
And then I have kind of a loaded blind item to go with this.
Whoa.
How do I put this? Barsi was possibly passed around by a
No.
famous producer.
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Jesus.
But that's allegedly, supposedly.
Yeah, but now we got to figure out what producer.
I can't name names.
Oh, don't even tell
There's
me.
some guesses, but I don't feel like throwing that out there.
Is it?
Huh?
Huh?
No.
Is it a certain celebrity?
No, it's not. It's not. It's a producer.
Oh, so now you're saying I'm not a producer?
Yeah. Speaking of Manhattan.
No, it really. Oh, you guys are sick.
Oh, so I'm not a producer?
Okay.
I'm just a writer. Director.
Jesus.
I'm a loser.
Talk about slander over here.
I'm not. We didn't say a name. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? We're just talking.
Yeah.
Hannah and her sickos over here.
We're,
Hannah and her bossies.
we're sweet and low down over here.
Jesus. All right. Now that that's covered.
Yeah.
Her next project, because Jaws, that was a big thing to get,
Sure.
Movie didn't do so well, but actually there's one review that is the only review to give it a good mark.
Mm.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I thought I was the only good Mark here.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you say, huh? Speaking of Marx Brothers, I get one right in.
Who's on Mark?
Yeah, who's on Mark?
That's what I'm asking you.
Mark's on third. What? Mark's on third.
So the only good review that can be found of Jaws the Revenge comes from The Bee in Danville, Virginia.
The Bee.
And at the end of the review, they called Judith Barsi terrific.
Kid's terrific.
Get out of here.
Moving on to her next project, The Land Before Time.
Oh, man.
She did the voice of Ducky.
Ducky!
Happy-go-lucky Saralo. Can you say that word, Kyle?
Serophilus.
Oh, yeah, Serophilus dinosaur.
Yeah.
And we have a clip.
Oh, man.
Before we get to
One
the
of
clip,
the saddest
though,
clips.
yeah, the log line is an orphaned brontosaurus teams up with other young dinosaurs in order to reunite with their families in that whole dinosaur land.
I am not a long neck. I'm a big mouth. But I am all alone. I lost my family in the big earth shake. You want to go with me? Yeah! Oh, oh, yes. I do. All right, come on. My name's Littlefoot. Mine is Ducky. Yep, that is what it is. Yep.
So that was her big catchphrase from that.
Yep.
Yeah, because you said that earlier in the podcast, and I was like, I know that's a catchphrase. I'd never heard of it, though.
What were you doing in the 80s?
I don't know what else.
Fingering chicks.
Yeah.
You weren't watching Friends yet.
I was smoking cigs and shooting guns. I was hanging out with Jozsef. I was shelling out hundreds at bars, I'll tell you.
Christ.
Yeah. And so that was directed by Don Bluth, who is the poor man's Walt Disney.
Yes.
He
Troll in Central Park.
Oh, God. He used to work for Walt Disney, too.
Wow.
The studio, not the man.
Not to be confused with the Bluth family from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is the only true Bluth family.
Yes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so he branched off and started making his own movies, and this was extremely successful. Bluth's style was known for the rich imagery and the hand-drawn look to it.
Yeah.
And then also dark, dramatic themes, because as you could tell, that is a very sad movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
It's a death that'll rock your world in that movie.
Yeah.
And this was part of your childhood, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
And Pizza Hut had all the collectibles.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could pay $1 and you could get Ducky.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah.
But I want some change.
Yeah, give me some change, please.
And so she knocked that role out of the park. And so Bluth then cast her as the lead voice in his next production, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
With Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I feel like my parents should have been taking me to these movies, but they were taking me to like Beverly Hills Cop instead.
Well, that was pretty good.
When I was a kid. Yeah, great movie, but like still, I should have been getting more proper animated Disney movies
Well.
shown to me.
Not Disney.
Oh, yeah, this wasn't Disney.
That's not Disney.
Oh, it's not. What is
No.
No, remember he branched off from Disney and started making his own.
Wait,
Oh,
so
okay.
All Dogs Go to Heaven is a Bluth production too?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So no relation to anything Disney or any
No.
of those big studios.
In fact, he teamed up with Spielberg for Land Before Time.
Oh, wow.
So it was like DreamWorks before it was DreamWorks.
Amblin.
Amblin, okay. I
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And they beat Disney at that time. Because
Really?
Disney, it was before the Renaissance, as they call it. Disney was doing movies like The Black Cauldron, which were financial flops.
Yeah, Disney was like fucked in those days.
Yeah.
Like they were doing garbage. But they had all this old IP that they weren't utilizing correctly.
You're fucking garbage, Disney.
Yeah. Yeah. From me to you, you garbage.
Yeah, the hardcore Disney heads were like, you ain't done a good movie since Steamboat Willie.
You fucking loser.
You bums. I'm all Amblin all the way.
During the audition for All Dogs Go to Heaven, Judith was asked to sing, but broke down in tears and became inconsolable. Incidentally, a woman named Lana Beeson ended up doing the singing for her character in the movie. Judith's agent was red-faced and decided her client needed help because she wanted to get her out working again. I'm on the fence of how helpful this agent was.
Yeah.
Seemed like she was caring more about the money.
Of course. Agents just want the work coming in and do very little work, and they don't want to make phone calls.
But nobody could deny it. Judith needed help badly. So Ruth, the agent, convinced Maria to take her to a child psychologist. After a couple of sessions, the therapist was extremely disturbed by what Judith described to her. She said she had no choice but to call Child Protective Services. A social worker met with Maria and assessed the situation. But Maria downplayed the severity of the problem and convinced the worker that she had a plan of action, which was to divorce Jozsef and cut him out of their lives. The case was then dropped.
Wow.
Jesus.
CPS did not take further action.
Yeah.
CPS still these days is not great in California, but at that time, it must have been a nightmare.
Yeah, it was bad in the 90s.
Yeah. I don't know like how
this is 80s.
hands-on they are, but like
Clearly not hands-on at all.
No, everyone gets nervous when it comes to other people's kids. They're like, should I do something? Should I not?
Yeah.
Is it just like a, lover's spat? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the belief was all kids, at the end of the day, being with the parents is the best option for them.
Which is not true.
Not true. Yeah. But they believe, like, if their parents do want them back, it's the best situation. No, it's not true.
No. Or they could just want to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like.
And by this point, think of how many witnesses there had been already.
Yeah.
Dating back to the 70s of Jozsef's behavior.
Yeah.
May 1988. Maria kept to her word and periodically started moving items to an apartment she rented in Panorama City.
I love it.
Her
Well, except for the Panorama City part.
Her idea was to make it look like she wasn't moving out so she could stay under the radar.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's like sleeping with the enemy type move. You know, you just kind of like make a quick getaway.
Yeah. She and Judith would spend their days at the new apartment telling Jozsef they were on set.
Wow.
And then only return to the house to sleep.
Good on her.
Well, if she was already in the house, like, why not just stay there and lock the door and be like, come find me, bitch?
Easier said than done.
You don't want to ignite this guy. He's he's an idiot and he's a ruffian scumbag, but you don't want to get him going.
Yeah.
After a month of this, most of their stuff was moved out. With the support of the social worker, Maria was ready to finally file for divorce and make her getaway. Or was she? The escape plan was delayed yet again, as Maria got cold feet and became annoyed that she had to be the one to leave the family home.
Oh, come on.
What?
Like, why should she have to go get a hotel or an apartment somewhere?
Well, you want to stay there and be on the map with this guy who already knows that address? You go to a new place.
Yeah. Did he not seem that aggressive and scary that she was like, okay, now, you know what? I'm going to put my foot down here and try a different strategy.
The verbal abuse and the threats continued, but ever since the incident where the cops were called to their home, he stopped physically abusing them.
Okay. I mean, that's not great, but like maybe she thought he was all talk and like full of hot air.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I'm not so sure about that because that's why they need to escape. I believe that's what I'm saying. There's so many witnesses to his behavior and his threats. It's not all hot air. I mean, there were real bruises and injuries.
Yeah.
It's just so clear that he's dangerous, which is why they're pretending that they're going to live there forever when they're actually trying to escape.
Maybe he's so bipolar though that you like some days he's like, oh, he comes down and he like seems like a normal person, and you never know what you're going to get with this guy.
Well, that's the thing about abusive people. If they were always abusive, then people would leave easily. It's the whole love bombing and saying, I'm never going to do this again. And then you feel good again. And then they bring you back and then start going.
And then it's just like a roller coaster.
cycle.
And it goes high, low. Then it goes at some point. It seems like to me, Alejandro, you're about to break to us. It goes over that threshold.
And to your point, he may have seemed at least not dangerous enough where they couldn't buy a little more time and sleep there.
Yeah.
But that was not the case. July 25th, 1988, 8:30 a.m. Their next-door neighbor heard an explosion and saw smoke rising from the Barsi house. She called 911. She, too, had witnessed Jozsef's abusive behavior and heard his violent threats, so she feared the worst when cops arrived minutes later. And sadly, the worst was confirmed. A fire had destroyed most of the interior of the house. When the smoke cleared, cops found 3 dead bodies. Jozsef had walked into Judith's bedroom and shot her in the back of the head with a .35 caliber pistol while she was asleep, facing the window. She was only 10 years old. Maria heard the gunshot and rushed into the hallway to intervene before being shot to death herself. Jozsef then doused their bodies in gasoline, lit them on fire, and then entered the garage. He put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger. His gun was found in his hand, and the can of gasoline was 4 feet from his body.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
What a scumbag.
Total fucking loser. Didn't know what he had.
Yeah. He could have just had a very cushy life where, he lived off his daughter's talent and just like
being proud of her.
Yeah, how could you not be happy that you created that? Instead, you're looking at her like, that should be me.
Well, it's a masculine thing too.
It's a fucking loser thing.
It is, but it's like, oh, like these women are controlling me. Like they're the power structure, and I am just some lowly, plumber who wears bad suits and has a couple $100, and all the money I have is in my pockets right now. And he's just a sad loser. He's just a shitbag.
Nothing against plumbers, but he
Nothing
stinks.
against plumbers.
He stinks.
Hey.
Is it?
I don't know whether I'm getting applause or what.
We should get a toilet flushing thing.
No, but plumbers, dude, they can make really good money.
You
I
can
don't
make
understand.
bank.
He was making good money. Even better.
But he wasn't making 100,000, which is crazy because
No, but also
plumbers
you-
should easily be able to make that.
Yes, exactly.
Easily. Especially back in the 80s. You could still make 100,000.
Clearly, he's not good with clients, and he pisses people off.
Yeah.
He doesn't get repeat business or word of mouth.
Yeah, he must have the worst butt crack in the world, and nobody wants to see or smell that.
He must be all crack, no fixing.
And in the 80s,
no sizzle.
they were all eating taco-flavored Doritos and Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of clogged toilets.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well,
Real.
they did. Yeah, the Sizzler was hot around then.
That was back when Jay Leno was hawking Doritos on
Hey,
TV.
you know, it make more. I know.
You ever heard of this? Cool Ranch?
You see this guy's crack?
Hey, Kevin, you hear about this guy's crack? hey,
Bigger
Dave.
than the opening to Land Before Time over here.
You got any more crack? The DEA is going to show up.
It's like more,
you know what I mean?
more crack than Jaws 4 over here. More crack than New Jack City.
New Crack City. Mammoth.
New Crack City.
I heard about being the butt of the joke, but this is ridiculous.
But this is the butt.
Hey, Dave Letterman, do you mind if I take your job? Hear about this?
Everyone remembers Judith as being a sweet girl, full of love, full of life. Director Don Bluth called her absolutely astonishing. Quote, she understood verbal direction even for the most sophisticated situations.
Wow.
You know, kind of melancholy at the same time to hear that because she was forced into that kind of training.
Yeah.
But clearly a talent.
Yeah, she had a good stage presence, and you can't really teach that.
And that voice, we grew up with Land Before Time.
Yeah.
You didn't, but that was...
Dogs Go to Heaven, too.
Yeah.
They're both super powerful movies.
Don Bluth was so heartbroken over her death that he based Anne Marie's design and mannerisms on her to honor her memory and cope with the loss.
Yeah.
In the movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven. And get this, The Land Before Time was released in November 1988, 4 months after her death.
Yeah.
And it was a huge hit, grossing $84 million worldwide, beating out Disney's Oliver and Company.
Yeah. I don't understand why there hasn't been more competition to Disney that clearly they can do very well.
Because they buy everybody out. They bought Fox. They
must.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And ironically, one of Don Bluth's last movies, Anastasia, that was a Fox animation production. That's on Disney Plus now because they bought Fox.
Yeah.
So they just became this evil empire conglomerate that just owns everything.
Yeah.
I hate Disney Plus sucks. I don't even care. I like Andor. That's all I watch, and that's it.
I can't get into that right now. So, All Dogs Go to Heaven was released in November 1989, exactly a year after The Land Before Time. And that was another big hit. Not quite as much money as Land Before Time, but clearly on video it did very well too. The ending theme song, Love Survives, was dedicated to Barsi's memory. And just to remind you, the log line here for All Dogs Go to Heaven, a canine angel, Charlie, voiced by Burt Reynolds, sneaks back to Earth from heaven and ends up befriending an orphan girl, Anne-Marie, voiced by Judith Barsi, who can speak to animals. In the process, Charlie learns that friendship is the most heavenly gift of all. And we have a clip here.
Yep.
This is from the end of the movie, when Charlie needs to return to heaven.
Goodbye, little buddy.
Oh, Charlie, I'll miss you.
Yeah. I'll miss you too, Squeaker. Now you go to sleep, huh?
Charlie, will I ever see you again?
Sure. Sure you will, kid. You know, goodbyes aren't forever.
Then, goodbye, Charlie. I love you.
Yeah. I love you too.
So Burt Reynolds had to record his lines after she died.
Oh my God.
And you can hear him get choked up in it.
Jeez, he's a real guy. I never thought he was that sentimental, but I guess he is.
Wow.
How could you not be in that situation?
No, yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize he recorded after she died.
Man.
Whew.
Yeah, that is just so powerful.
I had that on VHS. I used to cry to that all the time.
Yeah.
Oof.
And just knowing that, just how she was treated in real life when she says, I love you as her last line, it's so bittersweet.
It's harsh.
She was destroyed by this evil, and yet such a sweet legacy with these movies.
Yeah, man.
I gotta watch this movie now.
You've never seen it?
No.
Wow.
Never
That's a
watched it.
classic.
It's a great movie. Again, like Land Before Time, that's one I grew up with.
Yeah.
Little trivia here, Lance Guest, who starred alongside Judith in Jaws the Revenge, and he also played the quasi-love interest of Laurie Strode in Halloween 2.
Nice.
He's the one that slips in the blood in the hospital at the end. He was one of her pallbearers.
Wow.
At the funeral. Bonnie Gold, a spokeswoman for a Studio City acting agency that managed Judith's career, told the LA Times, quote, she was very successful with every door open to her. There's no telling how far she would have gone.
Yeah.
Judith and Maria are buried side by side in Forest Lawn Memorial Park.
Oh, wow.
Her headstone includes her famous line, yep, yep, yep.
Wow.
And curiously, that's also on the mom's grave. Yep, yep, yep.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She didn't say it.
Well, but
And she didn't protect her. All right, let's
No.
get this out of the way. What do you guys think of this mom?
I mean, I feel for her, but also she was out. She had a new apartment. She was already, nesting and taking things from the old place to the new place. And then she got a fire up under her ass and was pissed that he gets to live in the house and she doesn't. She lives in an apartment. That, to me, I mean, that was the kiss of death. She could have easily been gone.
Clean break, get out of there.
Yeah,
He eventually did get the fire up her ass, unfortunately.
Gee.
Well, I'm serious.
I'm so glad we read the disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, but she did. But hey, okay. In all seriousness, when it comes to your kid, take no chances.
You cannot fuck around.
Don't take it. Don't roll the dice on whether or not this guy would come over without a hangover.
She needed to run and gun it to the new apartment.
Yes, nice. But yeah, it's you. When you know something could happen like this, and you know you're dealing with a very volatile, crazy guy who is angry, don't even, run first and then ask questions later.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like a lot of people, even women, will not be fully scared of a man that's, they deem to be in their head like a pussy. And that's probably what she thought about him. Like, yeah, you're loud, but you're never going to really do anything deep down. I can fucking take this house and kick you out and you'll just fucking have to accept it. But when it comes down to people like that, it doesn't take a real man to show up with a gun and shoot people.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
but we're not
a lot of times that will happen.
We're not trying to blame her, and I'm not.
No.
trying to blame her. I think she had men in her life who did talk a big game also, and she anticipated he'll just burn himself out and then come back and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Blame isn't the word, but it is unfortunate that she couldn't take Judith out of the situation.
Yeah.
If she's being that badly abused.
But she didn't
I'm
have a mom
sorry,
close
You
by.
need to risk whatever will happen to get her out of that dangerous scenario.
Yeah, you don't think about yourself in that situation. You think about your kid and what's best for them and take them the fuck away from whatever's happening at home.
Even get out of Hollywood. Go far away. Lay low.
And this is the fucked up part. She's so worried about him living in the house. If she goes and she leaves, she stays in the apartment. If she gets a divorce, she's getting the house anyway.
Yeah, if it goes to like a court or something, yeah, she's getting. Maybe she doesn't understand because at this time, is it like the type of divorce it would be? Everyone just splits everything, and I think the court would rule in her favor. But she doesn't.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't know this. She doesn't know how these courts work in California.
Yeah, she had neighbors that knew the second they saw flames coming from that house that exactly what happened. So like
That's what
even
I'm
the
saying.
neighbors knew. They had witnesses.
All the witnesses through the years.
Yeah.
You know how the movie Alpha Dog, throughout the entire movie, every
Counts.
person they pass, there's a counter telling you witness number 1, witness number 20.
43.
This
Yeah.
version would have witness number 250.
Yeah.
From people on set to neighbors to family members.
Yeah.
And then one thing I'll add is that another situation that could have arose is that they move and he follows them anyway, somehow finds where they're located, and then does the same thing. I don't know. Maybe they could have gotten a restraining order. It's just you hear those sad cases where even the restraining order doesn't help.
But you could just disappear back in those days and no one would know the fuck you. Like, even if they went to Panorama City, even if they went 5 blocks away, you don't know how to find people. You know, you need a map. And
Especially in L.A. at that time.
Yeah.
You could have gone to Thousand Oaks and been anonymous.
Yeah, it's still a big city. No one knows how to find anyone there.
Yeah. Jeez.
So anyway, and then I have a final thing here that's kind of interesting.
Let's hear it.
There was a little show called Murder House Flip.
Oh, God. Yeah, you told me about this.
Is it the house that we're talking about here?
Yes.
What?
You remember Quibi?
Yes, which lasted for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of DreamWorks, that was Jeff Katzenberg's brainchild who was the K.
Yeah, exactly.
In SKG.
Dude, I had like a couple years where I was pitching TV shows, and every single time they would be like, this is perfect for Quibi. And I'm like, great. That fucking thing went under in 2 seconds.
But too bad you couldn't get paid for it because they were throwing out money like
They
it was
were.
growing on trees.
Yeah, someone got rich on that because they lost like $1.7 billion in like 25 minutes.
And they got $2 billion from investors.
Wow.
Yes,
So
they
Jeffrey
did.
Katzenberg teamed up with Meg Whitman, the former CEO of Hewlett Packard.
Oh,
that's
right.
Ran for governor of California in 2010 as a Republican.
Wait. Not Gretchen Whitmer. Wait, what'd you say?
Meg Whitman.
Meg Whitman. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Damn it, Meg.
Shut up, Meg. Yeah, you're right. She ran HP, which, not another good idea, really. Like a company that really kind of went under also.
And
I'd rather trust Gateway.
Yeah, I'd rather get a compact.
she and Katzenberg launched Quibi in April 2020. The idea of Quibi is that it was a short-form streaming platform that generated content meant to be viewed on mobile devices.
Yeah.
And the max length of each video was 10 minutes. Well, what happened in April 2020?
COVID.
Yeah. Suddenly everyone's at home watching things on their big TV.
Yeah.
There's no use for this stupid mobile idea.
I think that's a cop-out, though. They would like that cop-out.
Yeah.
I think it sucked in the first place.
Yeah,
It was
it
a
did.
shitty idea in the first place.
You know what annoyed me about all my pitches and them saying everything should go on Quibi? They're like, this is perfect because Quibi's looking for snackable content.
Ugh.
Snackable. It's just very short and nice and sweet.
Every season,
Like, shut the fuck
all the
up.
executives get like 8 new keywords that they repeat.
It
Yeah.
makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect for snackable content.
More like smackable.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me
nice.
fucking smack you.
How you smack me now?
And by December 2020, it folded. And then Roku bought it in 2021 just to release the content.
Oh, yes. I watched a Kevin Hart movie on Roku, which was actually a Quibi TV show that they just attach all the episodes together.
So it was a series.
It was not meant to be a series. Not meant to be a. It was meant to be a series, but they released it as a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Movies on Quibi, what did it take? 10 parts to finish it?
something like
That's
that.
not very snackable.
Yeah, it sucked anyway.
And then now I don't even know what's going on with that content because I tried to find Murder House Flip and Roku doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, they took it down recently.
Yeah, they were getting rid of the dead weight.
Wow.
Everything's getting rid of everything. Like all these streaming services are like, yeah, maybe we don't have to pay them $20 a month to host this,
Yeah.
So I was digging and digging and digging to find Murder House Flip on the internet. And I'm happy to report that I did.
Ooh.
And so we have a clip, and just to introduce it,
We have 2 clips.
in 2001, the Bernal family moved into the former Barsi home on the 2200 block of McHale Street in West Hills. And their daughter, Gabby, was extremely traumatized by the house. So let's hear clip 1.
The house had a bad energy when we moved in.
Weird things would happen. The garage door would open and close, had like cold spots in my room. I didn't really sleep last night at all. I felt like someone was watching me. We moved in.
A caveman?
I was like 10 years old at the time, and we didn't know anything about this house. And I started having an imaginary friend named Joseph. And he would open and close like the garage door when my dad would come home or turn off and on the lights. We came to find out that the killer's name was actually Joseph.
The way things line up with this story is really eerie. There's clearly some bad energy trapped inside this house.
What a genius. What great commentary.
Wait a second. The garage door is opening and closing?
Oh!
Okay. Whoa, wait a second.
What next?
Call the cops.
That sounds bad.
It looks like no one is thrilled about doing that show, especially the host.
The washing machine turned on and off.
Yeah.
Oh!
The lights went on. Were you switching them on? Well, yeah, but they went on.
But it's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
There was a weird, ugly Hungarian man standing over my bed. It came with the house, they told me.
Yeah.
So the girl, Gabby, her bed was in the same position as Judith's bed was. And basically the house was unchanged.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't like a full knockdown after the burning and stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there was some change, obviously, but yeah. It was
some
the same
refurbishing, I hope.
basic layout.
Yeah.
And so then the next clip is the reveal of how they remodeled the house to have a better energy.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go in your bedroom?
Yeah, I'm really ready. I'm super excited to see it.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Does it look a little different?
Oh.
Wow, it's so nice. How nice.
Beforehand, your room was full of dream catchers. I think that they were holding on to a bunch of negative energy. And if you could tell, there's not one dream catcher here.
It's a grown-up's room. I didn't notice the dream catchers were even missing. Now it's like I don't really need the dream catchers anymore.
You remember that window that was there?
Yes, it's not there anymore.
That's not there anymore. We created French doors. That way you can bring in new energy and all the bad energy can flow out.
That way intruders can come in easily.
Yeah. Come on in.
That room that they're in is the one that Judith got murdered in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's a grown-up's room now.
Yeah, how old is she still in this house?
Yeah, it's like, if you're a grown-up, move the fuck out of your family's house.
You go to Panorama City.
Go to Panorama City.
You fucking loser.
And don't give anyone your address.
Yeah.
Then there's another fire.
Yeah. Obviously, she's kind of like a very, mythological person. If she's got all those dream catchers and stuff, she's one of those, moonbeam type of
Soleil moon fry.
crystal. Yeah, she's into crystals and shit. So she believes in ghosts and spirits.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, Kyle is bah humbug on that shit.
Yeah.
I like the French George, though.
Oh, God.
That's the other tragic part of the story is Judith Barsi would become the subject of a Quibi show.
Yeah.
That show is so soulless. I thought it was supposed to be like a joke, but it's like very serious about they really want to flip the house.
Yeah.
And
the guy's like, oh, damn.
We opened up the wall like Joseph opened up her head.
Yeah.
And, this is perfect for you. Perfect for you.
Do you feel the fire in your heart like she felt in her body when she was burned? Okay,
God.
come on.
Jeez, clean it up, Katzenberg.
Yeah, this is what brought down Quibi, this show. The French doors are what brought down Quibi.
Yeah.
And other subjects.
Not snackable.
Not snackable to you?
No,
it's not snackable
not
content.
Snackable. No way.
Yeah, it's more like you want to cough it up.
Yeah.
Puke it up.
Other murder house flip subjects. Dorothea Puente.
Hey, I went to that house.
Yeah,
Check it out on our TikTok.
Check out our TikTok, and you're never going to find it on the internet on Murder House Flip because they've buried all the episodes.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that episode now.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I didn't know they did Dorothea Puente.
And Jodi Arias.
Oh, wow.
I wonder what they did with the shower.
Hey, take some pictures in there.
Added French
She was
doors.
hot.
Yeah.
They added French doors to the shower. So, yeah, that is everything. Final thoughts.
Oh, Judith Barsi. I find out from Barcelona. Judith Barsi, man, she was failed on so many levels. I feel so horrible for her. I mean, God, her mother's a victim too, but also does deserve some blame. Like we can say victim blaming all day, but there is a certain level of blame for people who put a child in a situation that gets them both killed.
Yeah. Well, it's hard when you're an immigrant and you have also an immigrant husband and you just don't know where to turn. You don't know. Can you trust the government? You know, were they citizens? Maybe we don't know about that at that time. And you just don't want to get in trouble. And like, you know, there was a time, there was like a lot of anti-immigration going on in the 80s and stuff, and a lot of hatred. And you don't know, maybe that turned them off and what made them not want to turn to these government agencies. But not to say that the CPS or any of these agencies are great, but more could have been done. But there's definitely a fear level of like who you can actually turn to. Yeah. And it's usually inward towards your own organizations or societies or what. I don't know.
It's definitely not people on set, because she told people my daddy's a drunk and he always talks about killing my mom.
Yeah, the
and like, whatever, kid, take 3.
The red flags were all there, like waving very wildly.
Yeah.
Ted Danson was like, "What are you talking about?"
That was the picture I saw. Ted Danson with Judith Barsi in his lap.
Well, yeah, she was on Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard she wrote the Whoopi Goldberg roast.
Judith Barsi did?
yeah, for Ted Danson.
That's a wild out there joke.
It was her idea to do blackface.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Truthfully, Karen Johnson wrote that roast.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We'll explore that roast on Death of a Career.
Yeah, we
On
can do it.
Patreon.
We can do a Patreon thing for that.
So yeah, R.I.P. Judith Barsi, and I just want to say that Jozsef was as ugly inside as he was on the outside.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right, well, go to deathandentertainment.com. That's right, you heard it, folks.
Wait a second.
Deathandentertainment.com.
Are you going to tell me?
We have our own website?
Get out of here.
And there you can find all the links to our social media, including Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
But most importantly, patreon.com/deathandentertainment, which we just have been able to beat the man.
What?
They designated us adult-only content because they said that we had put up sexually explicit material, which we never did.
Nope.
I had them do a human review, and they just got back to us this week saying we are no longer shadow banned. We can be found in searches, and that's why we ended up getting like a bunch of more Patreon members this week.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it is no longer adult-only content. Go down to patreon.com/deathandentertainment, or just go to patreon.com and look up Death and Entertainment, because you can find us now. People couldn't do it before, and now we're moving on.
And our latest episode is about the true story of Scream.
Hey.
Yes.
And it's actually a few stories in one.
Yeah.
Like
Very
scary movies.
Very chilling.
A lot of inspirational things. And I wonder on Patreon if we got labeled as sexual content for my legs in my game.
Yeah, I think
which there's been a lot
probably
of chatter about out there on the internet.
It was very sexualized.
Yeah,
so
I think I'm wearing the pants today. It's cooler outside. I'm dialing back the sexy. I'm not bringing sexy back. I'm taking it away.
you're taking it away. I'm taking sexy back.
Yeah, with me, not for you.
All right, everybody. Until next time.
Don't go dying on us.
Bye-bye.
You have just heard
A true Hollywood murder mystery.
I have never seen anything like this before.
The movies, Broadway, music, television, all of it.
A place that manufactures nightmares.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Good night. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.